What is up, everybody? Loud No Hippie Trucking and Transportation coming at you from Centennial, Colorado. Sometimes you just get a little bored, but I have something on my mind I just wanted to dabble in. I waited a little longer than I wanted to because Driveline was live when I was planning on going live. Mr. Mayhem, Myth Leather Company, John Hurley, Slime Pack. I was gonna go live earlier today, but I saw Driveline was live earlier, and I just decided to hold off on it. But I just wanted to it's not necessarily a rant, I'm gonna say. It's just kind of it could just be rambling thoughts, but there was a comment left on my last video, and it really, I'm gonna read this comment, and then I'll kind of get on with my rambling and stuff like that. There's no bad feelings or anything like that about this comment or anything, and we'll get to that as well. But I'm gonna wait for a few more people to get in here. Figured I might as well do it now because I think we're getting 16 windows replaced here tomorrow, and I think tomorrow and Tuesday, so it's gonna be a little loud around here. All right, so in the last video, I was basically talking about things I learned in trucking, right? One of the things I said I learned was I used an example, and the example really doesn't matter. So whether anybody believes what they want to believe about the George Floyd situation, that's irrelevant. What was my point in this stuff was, or in this video, was that the conversation that was being had by people that I wouldn't have ever thought would have been having that conversation. So I mentioned that was one of the things that started turning my mind around, from some of the preconceived notions I had about the South, stuff like that. All right, so anyway, there was a message that was sent, and it says, "Hey, brother, George Floyd legally in the coroner's report died of a fentanyl overdose. He couldn't breathe because he was overdosing on fentanyl. That cop did not choke him to death." Now, this is, like I said, this is irrelevant. You can believe what you want to believe on that. And I've read the autopsy report, and that's also irrelevant. So the police officer is rotting in prison for no reason. Regardless of what anybody thinks, it has nothing to do with race or any of that bullshit. All right, so that really wasn't my point in that. George Floyd just happened to be the avenue that I decided to make my point on. So I just said, my reply was, it wasn't, George Floyd was not the issue. It was just the avenue that I mentioned, that these are things that made me change my mind about the South. And that happened to just be 5 years ago. That's when my mind changed about that. So I said, is in the video, what happened is irrelevant. It was the conversation that the two workers were having, which was my point. I said, I've had the opportunity of watching some of your videos, and I'm sure it doesn't matter either way, being a segregationist and all. And he said, true, I am a segregationist because, of course, the crime statistics speak for themselves. For instance, I'm up in North Idaho among white people, and it's so safe we don't even have to carry our guns anywhere. Everyone is so polite, and that is across the socioeconomic strata. It's nice. It's a complete 180 from Florida, where there's violence, road rage, ethnic neighborhoods that you get shot in if you go into, not to mention gangs of illegals. Anyway, rock on. I still like your videos, even if you hate me. All right, so first of all, I never would hate somebody because of their views on that, right? As far as that goes, I prefer knowing where people sit more than anything. And for those of you guys that have been on my channel for a long time, I've mentioned that one of the guys that I am still friends with to this day, we didn't know he was racist at the time until he came out and said this down the road, when essentially all the black people in the unit ended up kind of taking us under his wing. So this was years down the road that he brought this up. And there have been several people that a lot of it was in the Marines, because things were a lot more diverse in the Marines than what I was into before I got into trucking. But, I knew a lot of people, and they said what their beliefs were. And a lot of that I just put on how people were raised or whatever. And like I said, it's not. I let people believe what they want to believe, and I'm not going to necessarily maybe go out of my way to be your friend or anything like that. But if somebody like this was, I've known these people before that believe certain things, and they're fine with you, if that makes sense. I don't know. But either way, if you happen to be watching this, I don't have any issues with any of that. I think that sometimes our past shapes our future and our thoughts on our future and things like that. And I was lucky to come up with parenting in a certain situation, stuff like that, where, hopefully I've raised my kids to a degree where, my kids right now know that if they came out and said they were happen to be racist or something for some reason, they're cut off. I mean, it's that deep. It doesn't matter who you are. That's one of my things that I just don't go to, as far as, which is kind of hypocritical. What I'm saying is, if you're in my life, I can work with people, associate with people, things like that, but I'm not going to have anybody in my life like that. So anyway, I'm curious how he was overdosing. Was it? Listen, like I said, that is not the point. I don't really want to rehash all this. Thyron, my man, that is my boy right there, Thyron Matthews. Check him out on Netflix. Thyron, man, it's been so long since I barbecued. I might have to donate. Well, I mean, you're too big time for a brother now. But some of you guys have probably seen Thyron Matthews on Netflix. All right. Thyron's been over to the house a couple times. Boy, he had his kids running a fucking muck in this household, man. I'm still finding Kool-Aid all over the house. Just joking. We found all that within the first month, but anyway, so my point in all this is, all my friends are different, right? So it's really disheartening. And one of the things I did mention in my last video was there is a divide in the country that I just hadn't been used to seeing. I think a lot of that was being a truck driver, being out and about a little bit more than, well, a lot more than what I was before I became a truck driver. And, I mean, it's just disheartening. You know, the way I grew up was I had a father, and hopefully I'm that same way with my kids where there's just no excuses. And that doesn't mean you're always going to be successful. That means if you fail, that's on you. If you succeed, that's 100% on you. That's not the government, the president, your God, nothing. I'm not. If I fail, I'm gonna take all the failure because when I win, I'm gonna take all the winning. I'm not gonna be saying it was because God or nothing like that. Because when I failed, it was because I didn't place none of the blame on him either. So, and my dad was a preacher, so you know. Anyway, um, some of you younger people, Slime Pack, all you guys that are a little bit younger, stuff like that, just take that mentality. I'm not saying you can't believe in God or whatever. I'm just saying if you win or you lose, that's on you. Do not be any of these guys out here, whether it's in trucking and life in general, blaming shit on, you know, I think the hardest part about, all right, Mr. Mayhem, it turns my stomach how toxic people are. I feel so out of place here. Nobody knows how to be a decent person anymore. Everybody is on the cutting edge of hatred. And I agree with that. And I'm saying it's on all sides, right? And the only problem with with last time, whether it was Biden getting president or this time Trump being president, for anybody that's on those sides, now there's no excuse. Okay, so you've had 4 years or on either side, whether it was 4 years when Biden was president or 4 years when Trump's president, and you've blamed your life's failures on who was president and the government and all that. Well, you know what? Now you get what you want, and now there's no hiding. So if you're still failing 4 years from now, what's the failure going to be at that point? What's the blame going to be on that? And that's that's the hard part to see. And I see it a lot in social media. And I'm just talking about trucking social media. We're not even talking about like regular shit. And I've just totally tried to step away from 100% of this stuff just because nobody's changing anybody's feelings on this stuff. And the conversations that I would have to have would probably need to be a little bit more one-on-one. And this is regardless of political affiliation and all that stuff, because I don't think political affiliation and all that stuff has anything to do with a lot of truck drivers. I mean, you see it every day. People blaming shit on everybody but their self. Whether it's their dispatcher, or it's the company, or it's the broker, or it's FMCSA. It's the government not like regulating. I mean, it's just like too many people blaming shit on stuff, and I just don't. Anyway, that's all. It's just been a bit of that comment a little bit earlier just kind of made me think a little bit deeper on some of this stuff. And if there's one thing that you will never ever see me doing, it's gonna be blaming some shit on. If I take the loss, I'm gonna take the loss. That's all on me. I am not gonna be not going to be out here blaming the economy or blaming, that might be the result. I might say this is it, but it falls on me. And I'm not hopefully raising kids that are out there trying to blame things on circumstances outside of their control either. I mean, all right, these comments aren't coming through. And Thyron, who just commented, "Hey man, down there, he's known me for years. We came out of the barbecue space. He's been to my house a couple times. I've been to his house in Iowa. So we've had plenty of conversations on accountability and all this different kind of stuff. So he knows exactly where I'm coming from in this shit. And that's what frustrates me more than anything. That frustrates me as much as anything. All right, Thyron, help me so much with my financial responsibility. You need some help? I know you don't need no help now. You probably got like 7 zeros up there now. Or are you saying that I helped you with your financial responsibility? But hey, as far as whew, I need to shave, get this hair down, but uh I've been so bored, not bored, excuse me. I've been so lazy. Hey, Thyron, a brother might need a loan pretty soon. I'm joking about that. Thyron's out there stepping with the big dogs. So, go check out if you guys are into barbecue and stuff like that. I mean, he has the YouTube channel, Thyron Matthews Barbecue, but check it out on Netflix. Now that I have a little bit, well, see, my problem now is Thyron is meeting up with you as you actually having time to do it. So now that my work schedule can be a little bit less than it had been in the past, I probably need to run out there and see you if you guys are ever at home anymore and you're not out barbecuing all over the earth. Yeah, Thyron, my Dodge Ram, man. For some reason, the hanger that hangs those exhaust pipes, it keeps falling off. So my exhaust pipes are hanging. My question is, how much money do I spend on that? I could temporarily hang them up, but I'm just wondering if some wire's gonna get it done or something. Because I am not spending no money on that damn truck at this point. I've had that truck since 2016. It's a 2009. It's already paid for itself multiple times over. I just don't want the damn the dual exhaust shit to fall off while I'm driving around. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Thyron, put down. I forgot the name of that. Put down the name of that Netflix show that you're on. Shit, I could look it up. Barbecue Showdown. There you go. He's glad that the competition wasn't me going up there. No, I'm joking. Yeah, Thyron Mason got him a little cutie pie out there. I was just asking him, how are you guys meeting women these days? See, this is the worst thing about being young in this age. Back when we were coming up, you can go out to the club, get your Mac on, whatever. All these people are meeting people online and shit like that. Anyway, he has some girl that is a little unconventional, but we'll see. Andrea's acting like he's gonna marry her ass like tomorrow or something. Anyway, I just wanted to come on real quick. I didn't have much to say about anything. I could get real deep into this conversation that we were having, but I'm not sure that would really. I mean, it would take more concentration than I could do on a live video trying to speak and read comments and stuff like that. But I guess one thing, if I am going to say something about it, is I don't feel like anybody's out there to hurt me. Now, I'm not saying that it, regardless of what my feelings are about immigration, anything like that, if an immigrant takes my job, I've done something wrong. I haven't lived up to my potential. You know, if I was living in some fucked up situation, I'd probably do whatever I had to do. I am one of those people that is like whatever is whatever is necessary to get whatever done. So anyway, Thyron, I'm not sure if you're still on here or not, but I just found out that Mason is only paying $500 a month rent in this place. So we're about to make some financial adjustments as far as that goes. I thought it was $800, and I was thinking about raising it past $800. And now I'm finding out it's $500. So uh, he's been making. He's not even a full electrician yet. He's still going through his shit. He's making $1,000 a month, right? Or not a month, a week. $1,000 a week, and paying $500 a month. So that looks like that's a straight loss for me. So we're about to adjust this shit here pretty soon. I did make him take us out to dinner and pay the full tip and everything. Normally, I'll handle the tip and let him take us out, but we're revamping this shit. I couldn't believe that. I found that out actually it was on the last live I did when I found out how much money he was paying in rent. I mean, $500 is not enough. I mean, unless he's going to start doing a little bit more work. Well, obviously, you want to help your kids to some degree, right? But the thing is, I think that helping your kids can hinder your kids as well. So I got this motherfucker thinking $500 a month is normal. Then when he actually does move out of the house and actually does pay market value for rent, then he gets rent shock. So I might just have to raise the rent just to benefit him. Yeah, she set the rate, but she kept saying she was going to raise it, and I thought she actually raised it. So now we're going to have to, I'm going to give him a little time to let it settle in. Well, all right, as far as the rent goes, the mortgage on this house is like $2,500 or something like that. The rent that, fuck, man, it's been so long since I've actually collected the rent at my rental property. Whatever it is, I'm charging less rent than market on that because I like keeping people long term, good renters long term, so they might be paying a couple $100 less a month or whatever, but they've been with me since 2009, something like that. So that's worth a little bit less, but let's even say that, because they're old, right? They're about to retire or pass away or both or whatever. And it's like, let's say somebody moves out of there and I want to move, some of my, either one of my kids into there. Well, him, is he going to be it? I'm not sure I would trust my daughter's situation to actually pay, but am I going to move him in there and then have him have rental shock all of a sudden? So, Myth Leather Company, I was just looking at a video today on Facebook where somebody had rented out, uh, yeah, I can imagine, where somebody had rented a property, Section 8, and the renter moved out and the place was all jacked up and everything. And really, that if you're going to rent Section 8, you're selling your soul to the devil. Everything might be fine, it could be whatever, but what you're saying is, rather than taking a stable renter, I want to get paid more money because the government's going to pay more money per square foot to rent it out. I'm going to sell my soul to the devil. Then when my place gets wrecked, I'm going to act surprised and be upset about the stuff. These people did a bunch of damage to his house, and luckily my dad used to rent. He still might rent out some properties, but I know he had some rental properties that were Section 8, and just the shit that came up with some of that stuff. And I'm not saying that all Section 8s can be bad or anything like that, but one of his Section 8 properties had a police officer break down the door and pepper spray the whole inside, or threw in one of those like pepper spray bombs or whatever. God, listen, there's enough people out there to rent to Section 8. I'm just not going to be the one to do it just because I can make more money, possibly. It's a lot of headache to go along with that stuff, whether it's the bureaucracy on the Section 8 side or the government side or the bullshit you got to deal with on the tenant side. But hey, as far as moving in family would be different than my son. I could go check his ass real quick. My daughter might take a little bit more work. I'm actually probably have to have a sit down with her man, just to let him know that your job as a man is to take stress off of your girl's parents. And for me to have to sit here and worry about all this shit that's going on is really not what I'm looking for. I need somebody to take stress off me. I need to know that somebody is taking care of business. I don't know if Thyron's still on here or not, but I'm sure he probably feels about the same way. Damn, this gray beer. Hey, Thyron, stay on here for a second. I need to show you something. Okay, so my brother, when I saw this pic, it's been a while since I've saw my brother, right? I'm going to show you a picture of my brother, and you tell me if he looks 9 months younger than me. Okay? I mean, this surprised the shit out of me. Just a second. Shit, now I can't find the damn picture. Uh, okay, yeah, I found it. My brother's up here looking like famous Amos. Shit, I might have to hold on. I need to save the picture and crop it because. Shit. I'll do the best I can. Okay, my brother. Man, I wish. Let me see if I could save this picture. I don't know how to do it on this phone. Oh yeah, okay, I got it. Give me just a second to edit this so I could bring him all the way in. All right, let's see. Sorry this is taking so long. This was actually surprising to me. Now whew. All right. Man, I hate this phone. I can't figure shit out on this phone. All right, fuck it. I can't figure this damn phone out. Here goes Tyron. Here goes my brother, the one that has the number one finger up. No, this phone right here, this Android is the shit. That's my brother with the number one finger up, looking like he needs to be selling some cookies or kind of got a little Dick Gregory going on with that too. I mean, come on. Now, I'm not saying you would look 100% younger if you just shave all that shit off, but I mean, all that, like, straight white hair and beard. Come on, man. That's crazy. I mean, that could literally pass as like an uncle of mine or some shit like that. And he's 9 months younger. Like, he was the one I used to be getting in trouble with, getting in trouble back in the days. Woo! Anyway. All right, crypto to the moon. You still at Prime? I watched your videos back around COVID when I was going there. Your videos had helped me very much at the time. Yeah, I'm still at Prime. I probably don't have any plans on leaving. If you watched during COVID, that was probably the end of the golden era of Prime. That was when everything was clicking over there. I mean, everything's still clicking financially. It's just a little bit different over there right now. Thyron, don't be put. Hey, do not. Hey, don't have me clowning you with that hair color shit. The thing isn't the. Listen, the gray hair is not the problem. It's the whole beard and the gray hair that, like, if you just have like the gray hair or something. Plus, he has that old, like, listen, he has that old black guy beard, like the one that like looks like cotton and shit. Anyway, yeah. Darren, don't be out there looking like the people that look like they got the face mask on with the fake, you know, fake dye all on their face and shit. All right, these nuts. Hey, Lyle, sitting in Springfield trying to get out of here. How's life, man? I am chilling so hard. As a matter of fact, I told him I was going to come out on the 22nd. I wouldn't mind if I stay out till like the 27th or 28th. I just don't have the motivation right now. I mean, I'm trying to get out and buy another car, right? I don't even have the motivation to go out and do that. It's just like T News, what's up? So hopefully by tomorrow, the next day, I'll feel motivated enough to get out and do some shit because I have not felt like doing nothing. I mean, I did go buy some stuff to put in my truck and, just since I was going to be out that way. So I did do that. But that's about it. I think I thought I was going to want to barbecue when I was out here. Haven't found the motivation to do that shit. Byron, those videos have passed me by, man. The video quality and all that stuff is like what is well surpassed the quality of videos that I was putting out back in those days. So, uh, I would actually need to like really start getting into it to do some videos now. Go ahead and cancel that load, man. Lake Elsinore, California at the moment. I don't know how old you are or where you came from, JJR, but there used to be a club out there that is legendary to this day in Riverside called Club Metro. You can still see people talking about that club on Facebook or, whatever, but that was the shit back in the days, boy. I mean, that place was legendary. Man, hey, that takes me back to like, man, there's so much stuff I could say about the Metro. Hey, how old are you, JJR? J Jr., whatever? Uh, Stationed at 29 Palms. Man, you had to go somewhere. That was the worst place to get stationed at. What years were you down there, too? 55. So were you down there like in the late 80s, early 90s, shit like that? Hey, I was in the Marines from 87 to 91. So I was like clubbing in the Metro from probably like 88 to like 90. All right, Myth Leather Companies, thanks for stopping by. I was probably hanging out at Club Metro until probably about 93. So I was probably still up there, not as much in 92. Oh, 90. Okay, so yeah, I was definitely there in those times. As a matter of fact, yeah, I used to date one of those girls that was in the. They used to dance in them cages and shit. Man, that place was crazy. That was like one of the top two plate clubs like ever of all time. That was like some serious fun. As a matter of fact, sitting outside of that parking lot was the first time I ever had Cisco in my life. And there was a guy that was older than me. He went and bought these, bottles of Cisco, and I'm thinking it's it's a wine cooler, right? Drinking age in Colorado is 18 years old. I drank a bunch of wine coolers, so I'm like, okay. So he brings all these Cisco's out, and I think he drinks one, I think he bought three for everybody. So he drinks one, maybe one and a half, and then he's like, I think this is enough for me. And I'm like, man, you're weak or something like that. So I drank mine. Then I drank his, and I didn't realize that Cisco wasn't like a wine cooler. That shit was a lot stronger. That was like the first time I really, I mean, it's not the first time I got drunk, but it was the first time that I realized what Cisco was. Anyway, South Carolina, what's up, Misfit Flatbetter? Man, that, excuse us, talking about this club, but this dance club, which is something that my son will probably never have the opportunity of ever seeing, or anybody in this younger generation is ever going to see. That club right there had, I don't know if you went to the club on Camp Pendleton, the Camp Del Mar, but anyway, that particular club had three dance floors. You had like the like top 40 hip hop dance floor. You had the new wave and that kind of dance floor. And I don't remember what the third dance floor was. It might have just been straight rock or whatever, but everybody kind of moved between them three dance floors, stuff like that. It was 18 and older club, so people under 18 used to go out in the parking lot and get all drunk before they went in or whatever. And they used to give you these stamps on your hand to show if you were under 18, and they used to glow in the dark. So my dumb ass, the first time I was there, tried to lick it off. So they had all these fluorescent lights all over the place. So I'm walking around the club with all this like fluorescent shit all over my face from trying to wipe it off. Man, that's some good memories right there. Shit. If you ever went down to Camp Pendleton, another place that was pretty good that you still have a lot of people talking about on Facebook and shit like that is Club Delmar, Camp Delmar in Camp Pendleton. That was another club on base, actually, that used to draw a lot of people in from off base. So that was some good shit. Man, I just don't. I was actually talking to my son about this the other day, or actually the last time I was home, and I feel sorry that people in this generation have to grow up the way they do. They got too many fucking cameras everywhere, all that kind of stuff. You can't even like make little mistakes that teenagers or whatever make these days. None of the clubbing, all that. I mean, every everything is so sanitary how you meet people these days. You just don't, like these guys aren't packing up like we used to back in the day, roll five deep to a club and whatever. And I remember one of the girls I used to date back in the days, you had to bring it. Like when you were dancing, because that was back when girls used to have their little dance steps, kind of, they had their dance moves already figured out. They had a little routine and shit. And I forget my damn point on that. It was just a good fucking time to be a young adult kid back in those days. And I don't know about no electric slide or anything like that. I'm not gonna hate on like normally I would. That's when I would get my break when they started bringing that little bullshit on. Dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and the music was so good. Like everything was good about that. Like that era from like '86 to like '96. That was like the best shit ever. Oh, anyway. These youngins just don't know. Hey, Misfit Flatbetter, if you haven't seen Driveline's video about the navigation shit, that video is about right on. All right, let's see. I could bring it all the way down. You guys had that one guy had to stomp the floor so loud. Yep. I hear you say they seem like they just don't have as much fun as we used to, but I'm sure every generation says that, but I really believe it. Listen, I am telling you, listen, I'm the first one to say, you know what? I don't understand how these anybody listens to this bullshit music. And I know that I'm saying that because I'm old. One thing I can honestly say is this generation is not out there having the fun we used to have. It, I'm just not seeing it. There's no evidence that leads me that direction. I mean, people man, I did so much raw shit back in the days, it's unbelievable. But if you ask next time you see somebody that's like in their 20s or maybe even early 30s, I guess, definitely 20s, ask them, how did you meet that person? Chances are online is going to be like over 50%, 60%. And then there's going to be some other ways people met people. But back in the days, that wasn't the case. Being from Oakland, oh man, I got some stories about Oakland, actually. Uh, Oakland. I used to go to Oakland once a year for the Broncos Oakland Raider game because I was an Oakland Raider fan, and that was just the game that me and my boy used to always pick to go out to Oakland for. This is back in like 96, 97, 98, 99. And let's just say that the area around the stadium is not as safe as it could be. I got into bars, ferry landing when I was 16. AIDS wasn't a thing. Boy, AIDS used to scare the shit out of people back in the days. Now people are just living with it, I guess. I don't know. Ash Ram, early 30s. I met my wife online, but we both were our very first dates. Listen, back in those days, I used to meet people any way possible. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying there has to be a mix. I used to do the shit in the newspapers, like the whole personal ad thing, and you know that was just my like little supplemental. And then I go to the clubs and do it there, and then I'd just be beating people because at the time I was selling cars, and I just meet people just selling cars. So at that time, I just used to do, it was just like a shotgun approach. However, but uh, just solely, you know, relying on dating apps and shit like that. Well, I can remember AIDS existing in '80s when I was in high school. Now I don't think it touched down that low yet. I mean, you would hear about it and all that kind of stuff, and but yeah, it was definitely around. Then they had that kid. Nobody wanted him to go to the school and shit because he had AIDS and everything. Now, Jay Jr., another place me and my boy used to go is we used to be going to okay, Metro, Florentine Gardens up in Hollywood. There's another place up in Hollywood. I forget the name of that place. And then we used to go down to Tijuana, and we'd either go to Regine's or we would go to El Torito's. Then there was just various San Diego clubs we used to hit and everything, but if your dispatch puts you in a horrible situation to make revenue is out of your hands. Yeah, I agree with that. It's still not anything that it's still I'm still gonna take responsibility for it, even if you're gonna run it all the way back to me making the decision to work for Prime. So, but I haven't really had those situations. If anything, and this is 100% honest, if anything, I'm the one that's throttled things back as far as revenue, not because of the revenue, but because of the time. There have been times that I've been running so hard that I just had to put on the brakes. Y'all, Torito was good. Yeah, those are the times that are missing from these days. And again, you just can't be wilding out either, just like you used to back in the days. I cameras have like I think there's a certain amount of uh I never went to Palm Springs. Never went there. That was too close to 29 Palms, man. 29 Palms was like a no-go. That like when people used to get like orders, they'd be like, "Well, where do you want to go?" Anywhere but 29 Palms. Like the base was fine. The base was cool. I mean, the base was probably better than where I was actually stationed on Camp Pendleton because we were in the middle of nowhere. But 29 Palms, those few times I had to go there, that was like punishment. Damn, what was my point? Um, Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. I mean, we literally used to go to Club Metro, leave it to it. Now we'd have to be at work at like 4:30, maybe like let's say 4:30. Drive from Metro back to Pendleton, change clothes, and then take like a 30-45 minute nap and be at work. And there was no excuses for not being on time either, ever. Hey, and speaking of happy hours, when me and my boy first moved in together after I got out of the Marines, all of our, all of our, you know, plates, dishes, all that shit, all that came from restaurants that had happy hours or just restaurants we went to. We were so broke that we would go to a Chinese buffet, get all you could eat food, and get we'd bring in like these big gulp cups or whatever and fill up those big gulp cups full of food to have later. All right, Miss Flit, I turned down $1 a mile, got a 600-mile deadhead and 900-mile, 915-mile loaded for $1.50 a mile. Man, some of them flatbed loads seem to be a little light lately, from what I've been hearing. Jay Jr. used to suck. having to leave from the club and then make formation for a 3 mile run. See, I was actually, I didn't normally have to worry about that as much because I was in food service. So we didn't have to worry about the 3 mile run. We did have to worry about the 12-hour day, though. All right, let's see. All right, man. This video went all off into a different direction I was thinking it was gonna go, but that's the good thing about this shit. I did have a movie queued up to watch with my wife later on today. I was gonna watch it while she was gone. Forget the name of the video. So with like Jamie Foxx and like Cameron Diaz or some shit like that, and he's like, I don't know. I didn't. Anyway, that's what I'll be watching later. It seemed like it was a good movie, so I stopped it, and then I'll be checking that out later. But other than that, I'm just gonna be relaxing, man. Do appreciate you guys. Stop by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, listen. Don't put blame on anybody but yourself. I'm out.